Collision is necessary for growth. Collision, can you collide? Do you even know what collision means? It's interesting. This was the gift that I got for my morning meditation. And it's a theme I've had throughout the years, kind of started 8 years ago as I went through some training. And it's this thought of colliding, right? Colliding, but collision for collision's sakes, it leads to chaos, okay? So I'm not talking about just colliding with people and going around like a bull in a china shop, right? And just breaking things. But it's colliding in a way that moves you forward towards a specific goal. And I remember there was a time when we hired a contractor and to redo our kitchen and in our living room and tiling. And at the time, like gave me a price. And I said, okay, great, that's the price. Like that's wonderful. I'll take it. I'm not going to negotiate with you, but my expectation is that you do a great job. Now, what happened is that this went on for like 6 weeks. I'm living at the cabin with the children. Like I had all the children at the cabin. At the time, I think we had 12. No, it was 11 children at the time lived at the cabin. Maybe it's 10. I'm not sure. But my wife. No, I'm sorry. I had 8 children. My wife had 2 of them back here to help her out. It was like 6 weeks, and I couldn't bring them back because the kitchen was like a mess. They were tiling, like it just wasn't quite complete, and they were painting, and it just kind of dragged on and on and on. And it was supposed to be pretty quick. And so I went in, I just reached my point. I was like, okay, it's time to collide. Like it's time to have a conversation with them. And I went into the office and I said, listen, I think it was Kevin or it was Keith. And I said, Keith, listen, we can walk away as enemies, or we can walk away as, and I can walk away as your best customer. I said, my desire in this conversation is we figure this out, and I'm like your best customer, that leaves the best review for you ever. But I'm prepared to walk away as your enemy. Like, let's just sit here, let's look at the facts. And so what I did in this collision, it's interesting because this is there's actually a formula to dealing with collision, okay? And it starts with what is your desired outcome. Okay, I start with my desired outcome in this case with hey, I want to walk away as your friend. I want to walk away as your best customer. But at the same point, I'm prepared to walk away as your enemy. Like, let's figure this out here. Okay, that's step number one. State your intention, but also state you're okay with the outcome. Okay, you're okay with either outcome here. And then what we did is just laid out the facts. I said, hey, here are the facts of this situation. Here are the facts of what's happening, okay? This is not the facts that we discussed. Anyways, from there, we figured it out. It worked out. He apologized and, assured me that it was going to move forward. It didn't move forward. And so finally I just fired him. I was like, okay, we're done. Don't even fix this last thing. I don't want you to touch it because something else is going to happen. Just bye, okay? But collision, it's so important. It's so important for growth. And the interesting thing is that although I told the story of colliding with somebody else, the biggest collision we have is to ourselves. Can you collide with your stories? Can you collide with your own facts? Do you even know your own facts? I tell this, the most deadly man that comes in the room is one who has nothing to hide. Hey, here are my facts. I own my facts. I own the fact that I am either good here or bad here, or here's what I did, here's what I didn't do, but here's what I want. The biggest collision was ourselves, our stories, and our facts. But at the same point, you got to know what you want. If you don't know what you want, then collision is chaos. Anyways, that was my gift today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already done it, go and check out MediaOptions.com. A lot of amazing domain names. Check out chriszeiger.com. Check out my podcast. I've got over 1,000 podcasts. I tell a story every day. Story in domain names, story in life, story in raising children, all the above. Maybe you find value in it. Once again, check out my YouTube. Download my book, DomainNameBrokerSecrets.com.